Evening and welcome to the August 11th Falls Township Zoning Hearing Board. If you can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we get started with the agenda items, just make some introductions. Stenographer for tonight is Karen Browndorf. Solicitor for the Zoning Hearing Board, Keith Bidley-Meyer. And from the Township, we have Matt Takita, Diane Barry, and Ed Neubauer is on Zoom. Just have to take one housekeeping item before we get started. Mr. Bidley-Meyer.
Sure. Mr. Chairman, we received a request to continue number 4, Lakeview Terrace. As the board may recall, this matter was previously listed at the June meeting, and during the course of testimony, it was continued to allow the applicant to look over some matters and take some feedback from the board's comments. The Township Solicitor, Greg Helianek, has requested a continuance to allow him to review the updated plans submitted by the applicant. I know the applicant's attorney is present in the back of the room. He had no objection to this matter being continued, and as such, the Township Solicitor is requesting the matter be continued until the September meeting. So with that being said, it would need a vote to continue to the September meeting.
So I would need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Bill. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Chris. Chris, can you call the board?
Bill?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Yes.
Don? Yes. And I'm a yes.
Thank you.
And just for the record, that would be September 8th.
Perfect. All right, so petition number 1, Erdinc, Karakurt, 2 Primrose Lane, Levittown, PA, 19054, tax map parcel 13041-074, zoned NCR, requesting a dimensional variance to place a 6-foot solid fence in the second front yard along Pinewood Drive from section 209-37C2. How you doing, man? If you please can just state your name so you can be sworn in.
Fehime Karakurt. I'm the wife of Erdinc Karakurt, yeah.
Can you spell your first and last name?
Fehime, and my surname is Karakurt.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Ms. Karakurt, you could begin.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry, Ms. Karakurt.
Hang
Hold
on one second, sorry.
That's okay.
Mr. Chairman, if we can mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal ZHB along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be a permit denial letter sent from Falls Township dated June 1st, 2026, sent to the applicant. 3 will be a Lower Bucks Joint Municipal Joint Authority, Lower Bucks County Joint Municipal Authority easement construction permit. That'll be 3. 4 will be a plot plan. 5 will be proof that the property was posted with the appropriate placard. 6 will be pictures of the site triangle. 7 will be notification to the applicant and neighbors sent from Falls Township dated August 3rd, 2026. And then 8 will be proof of publication of the Bucks County Courier-Times showing this matter was published July 28th, and then again August 4th, 2026. With all that, I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied, and this matter can proceed.
You're good to begin now.
Yeah, we just moved to this address on this January, and when we moved there, the fences was not good, in a good shape, so we decided to get a 6-foot solid fence for our privacy. And our property is situated on the corner lot, which creates a unique physical circumstances not shared by the standard interior lots in our neighborhood. Because of this configuration, Pinewood Drive runs along what is classified as a secondary front yard, directly adjacent to our primary outdoor living. This exposes a significantly larger portion of our property to public street frontage compared to a typical residential lot. The hardship is a direct result of our property's corner lots configuration as plated, a condition we did not create. Interior lot owners in our neighborhood are entitled to install 6-foot solid privacy fences in their rear and side yards without restriction. And we are denied the same privacy protection solely due to our corner lot designation. We are requesting the minimum variance necessary to achieve reasonable privacy and security for our family, because we have got 2 daughters and they want to enjoy in our backyard while they are doing, some stuff over there. And a 4-foot fence as currently permitted does not provide adequate visual screening from passing vehicle traffic and pedestrians on Pinewood Drive. So we need a 6-foot solid fence, represents the standard height used through the neighborhood for a rear yard privacy fences, and is the last modification required to afford us meaningful use of our outdoor space. Is that enough?
Thank you, yes. Any questions from the board?
I just have one for Ed. The site triangle, has that been checked?
That's been checked. As long as they're a foot off the sidewalk, they'll be okay.
All right, thank you.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions from the board? Okay, anything further from the township?
Nothing from the township.
Okay. Any public comment regarding this? All right, so with that being said, I will need a motion.
I'll go ahead and make that motion. I move that the application of Erdinc Karakurt, requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-37.c2 of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to allow a 6-foot solid fence in the secondary front yard along Pinewood Drive at the property located at 2 Primrose Lane, Levittown, PA 19054, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
I have a motion from Aaron. Aaron, is that conditioned with the foot off the sidewalk?
Condition with the foot off the sidewalk to make sure that the site triangle is preserved.
Perfect. Motion by Aaron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bill. Chris, can you call the board?
Bill,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Don, yes, and I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to petition number 2. Matthew Harwood, 701 North Lafayette Avenue, Morrisville, PA 19067. Tax map parcel 13038-043, zoned NCR, requesting a dimensional variance to widen the driveway to 25 feet from section 209-43-1C3. Hi, if you can, please just
Hello.
state your name for the record.
My name is Amanda Harwood, the spouse of Matthew Harwood.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if we can mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as HB 1 along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be a permit denial letter sent from Falls Township to the applicant dated June 18, 2026. 3 will be an estimate for the proposed expansion of the driveway. 4 is a plot plan. 5, impervious calculation sheet. 6 are renderings of the property. 7 will be proof that the property was posted as required. And 8 will be the proof of publication of the Bucks County Courier Times. And then 9 will be the applicant and neighbor notification letter sent from Falls Township dated August 3rd, 2026. With that, I'm satisfied the appropriate notice has been satisfied and this matter can proceed.
You're good to begin.
Hi, we're here to ask for the widening of our driveway from 20 feet to 20, or from typical 20 feet to 25 feet. Currently, we have a rock driveway and we would like to asphalt it with that additional widening.
Okay. Is that all you have?
Stated, well, if you'd like me to continue, stated in our letter, we have 2 teenage sons. a third one if you like to count my husband as one. We would like to put up a basketball hoop and have that a safe place for them to enjoy their sport. In the past, we've had the basketball hoop out in the road, and our particular road is very high traffic. It's a cut through, so we have cars zooming down there, and we have had an incident where a car has driven into our basketball hoop. So we're just trying to take precaution and also make improvements to our property by doing the asphalt, and we're asking for the widening.
Okay. Any questions from the board? No questions from the board. Any public comment? I see none. Anything from the township regarding this?
Nothing from the township.
Awesome. So with that being said, I would need a motion.
Okay. I move that the application of Matthew Harwood requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-43.1C3 of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to allow the driveway to be widened to 25 feet at the property located at 701 North Lafayette Avenue, Morrisville, PA 19067, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
Motion by Aaron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Chris. Chris, can you call the board?
Bill?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Don? Yes. And I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Petition number 3, Oksana Cheeseman, 4 Bernard Drive, Morrisville, PA 19067, tax map parcel 13054-073, zoned NCR, requesting a dimensional variance to place a 6-foot solid fence in the secondary front yard along Simons Drive from section 209-37C2. Ken, please just state your name for the record so you can be sworn in.
My name is Oksana Cheeseman, spells O-K-S-A-N-A. Cheeseman, as just sounds, C-H-E-E-S-E-M-A-N.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, we can mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1 along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be a permit denial letter sent from Falls Township to the applicant dated July 8, 2026. 3 is the plan of the property. 4 is an aerial view of the property. And on the back side of it has latches. 5 will be proof that the property was posted with the placard as required. 6 will be the site triangle cones and pictures taken of the cones by the township. 7 will be the applicant name notification letter sent from Falls Township dated August 3rd, 2026. 8 will be proof of publication of the Bucks County Courier Times showing this matter ran July 28th and then again August 4th, 2026. I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied. This matter can proceed.
You may begin.
We moved into this house. I have 3 children, teenager children. So we moved to this house in last year in August. We had wooden fence with a chicken wire. We thought, and 2 dogs. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it. We thought it was sophisticated enough for us. However, as we lived in this house, we realized that this house is a very high traffic area, and my twin girls who are 17, when they're in the backyard, they feel like a lot of neighbors are being seen. So I'm requesting to have a 6-foot fence, privacy fence for them to actually enjoy backyard. In addition to that, as I mentioned, I have 2 dogs, and unfortunately, again, because it's a lot of foot traffic, a lot of sidewalks and a lot of people walking in the neighborhood, which I totally understand. It's a very friendly neighborhood. Unfortunately, my dogs are getting, they bark a lot when people come in too close. So I'm requesting to put the privacy fence for neighbors. When they're walking, they're going to feel more comfortable, so the dogs are not going to be barking at them. In addition, for the safety and comfort for my kids, and knowingly that the sidewalks is right next to it, I'm also asking to move the fence 5 feet away from the sidewalk to actually have more buffer for the people that walk around and for our safety and comfort as well.
Perfect. Any questions from the board?
I think just the usual question for Ed about the site triangle.
As long as they go 5 feet off the sidewalks, they're going to be okay. Because I had to check it on Simon's Drive or the neighbor's driveway. But as long as they keep it 5 feet off the sidewalk, they'll be okay.
Perfect. Any other questions from the board? Anything additional from the township?
Nothing from the township.
Any public comment? Okay, with that being said, I would need a motion.
Thank you.
I am happy to move that the application of Oksana Cheeseman requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-37.c2 of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to allow a 6-foot solid fence in the secondary front yard along Simon's Drive at the property located at 4 Bernard Drive, Morrisville, PA 19067, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board with the mentioned caveat of the 5-foot offset from the sidewalk to maintain the site triangle.
Motion by Aaron. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Don. Chris, can you call the board?
Bill?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Don? Yes. And I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Petition number 5, Hale Properties LLC, 111 to 115 Lincoln Highway, Fairless Hills, PA 19030, from tax map parcel 13004-555, 13004-608, 13004-609, 13004-612, 13004-616, and 13004-617. Zoned HC, requesting the following variances to construct an approximately 7,020 square foot motor vehicle repair garage from section 209-23G, table 4, to permit a minimum front yard setback of 65 feet, whereas 100 feet is otherwise required. 2, section 209-23I1 and 209-42H17, to permit 34 proposed parking spaces, whereas 81 parking spaces are otherwise required. 3, section 209-23H2, to permit a buffer of 5 feet from the street line, whereas a 30-foot buffer is otherwise required, and a buffer of 0 feet from the adjacent lot line, whereas a buffer of 10 feet is otherwise required. 4, section 209-381E2, to permit a buffer of 0 feet between the proposed development and adjacent commercial use, whereas 25-foot buffer is otherwise required. 5, from section 209-42B1, to permit parking within the planning buffer, whereas parking within the planning buffer is otherwise prohibited. And 6, section 209-42F1B, to permit parking within the buffer areas, whereas parking within the buffer areas are otherwise prohibited. How you doing, sir?
Good, Mr. Matei, how are you?
Good to see you.
Likewise.
He doesn't need to be sworn in, so you're good.
Okay, yeah. Mr. Chairman, if we can mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal along with the accompanying statement as ZHB 1. 2 will be the zoning plan notes submitted by the applicant. 3 will be a real estate purchase agreement. 4 will be a deed for the property. 5 will be notice to the applicant's attorney, providing notice of tonight's meeting dated August 3rd, 2026, sent from the township. 6 will be colored photographs showing the property was posted as required. 7 will be proof of publication of Bucks County Courier Times. And then I was previously provided a certificate of service from applicant's attorney, which satisfies the notice requirements. He has handed up a packet, 1 through 6, so with your permission, I'll mark this as A7.
No objection.
Great. With that, I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied, and this matter can proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matagan. Good evening, everyone. Before we get started, is the board fine with doing an offer of proof, or do you want me to actually call up Mr. Alanikoff and have him go through the testimony? It's whatever you prefer.
We're fine with the offer proof.
Offer of proof, perfect. So for the record, my name is Leonard Altieri. I'm an associate at the law firm of Claire Harrison, Harvey Brandsburg, representing the applicant this evening, which is Hale Properties, LLC, for the property located at 111-115 Lincoln Highway. As we've established, I'll do an offer of proof, so I'll summarize the application and then have our civil engineer, Mr. John Alanikoff from Bowler Engineering, adopt that testimony. While the chairman was going through the relief that we're seeking this evening, I did pass up to the board an exhibit packet tabbed A1 through what is now A7. A1, just for record purposes, and some of this is going to be a little duplicative of that of the township's, the board's exhibits. A1 is the CV of John Alanikoff. A2 is the existing conditions plan. A3 is the zoning plan. A4 is the truck circulation plan. For standing purposes, A5 is the deed, and A6 is the agreement of sale. And then, as the solicitor said, A7 is now our certificate of service showing proof of mailing to the requisite properties. I have on the screen tonight what is identified as tab A2 in the exhibit packet that has been presented up to the zoning hearing board, which is the existing conditions of the subject property. We're here before seeking dimensional variances associated with the redevelopment of the property, again located at 111-115 Lincoln Highway. The subject property is located in the HC Highway Commercial District. The property consists of approximately 103,419 square feet, 103,419 feet, or 2.37 acres, and the applicant is proposing to construct a 7,020 square foot discount tire / American Tires facility. Although the applicant requests several variances this evening that were read off by the chairman, the vast majority of these are requested reliefs related to the existing nonconformities that are already on the property. Rather than intensifying the existing nonconformities, this proposal that you will hear tonight substantially improves the site. It modernizes an aging commercial development. It enhances circulation and aesthetics and allows for a commercial use specifically contemplated within the HC Highway Commercial Zoning District. The requested variances facilitate the productive reuse of this property while improving existing conditions and advancing the purpose and the intent of the Falls Township zoning ordinance. The redevelopment will retain the existing commercial development pattern while substantially modernizing the site and, where practical, reducing the degree of existing nonconformities. Again, still focusing on Exhibit A2, and without repeating, kind of that overview, this is the existing conditions of the site. Turning to tab A3, there's two sheets in the exhibit packet that was presented up to the board. One is just a colorized version showing the overlay of the subject property and the surrounding property. It's kind of like an aerial. The front yard setback currently will be proposed approximately 69.8 feet. We're proposing 34 parking spaces. Our site distance is greater than 700 feet, where 700 feet is required. And with regards to truck circulation, we've accommodated that on site and have submitted a circulation plan that demonstrates successful truck maneuvering throughout the site. The chairman did go through the existing relief that we're seeking. Again, it's 6 variances. Without needing to go through all those variances again, they are all dimensional. The nonconformities that exist on the site today contain are related to setback, parking, and buffer conditions that predate the proposed redevelopment. Existing parking and improvements extend into the areas that would now be required as buffers under the current ordinance. With regards to the existing nonconformities, this application is not increasing those nonconformities. The project largely carries forward existing conditions while improving site design and, where feasible, again, reducing the level of the nonconformities that we have. An example of that is the front yard setback, which is approximately 60.7 feet. The proposed building increases that setback by approximately 69.8 feet, bringing the site closer to compliance with the 100-foot requirement that's under the zoning ordinance. A parking variance is required, again, based on the floor area results, parking variance is required. And the reason why that variance is required is because based on the gross floor area, it results in a requirement of 81 parking spaces for a 7,020 square foot building. The site that we are proposing is just, we're asking for 34 parking spaces. And we believe that those 34 parking spaces are more than sufficient for the proposed operation. The facility contains 6 service bays, and applying the ordinance's service bay standards, it requires 24 spaces, plus 1 space per employee. With approximately 10 employees at this site, the operational needs would equal 34 spaces, which is exactly what we're proposing in this application. One of the reasons why we wouldn't construct, or we're seeking relief not to construct all 81 parking spaces, is because what that would do is then just create an unnecessary impervious coverage and would provide parking far in excess of the actual operational needs that is contemplated by this building. The proposed parking of these 34 spaces, we believe, reflects the realistic demand generated by the use. And we also believe that customers will be adequately accommodated because this parking count was designed specifically around the facility's service bays and staffing levels, which again, we believe are sufficient for the intended operation. With regards to buffer and landscaping variances, the reason why those variances are needed is they arise from longstanding site constraints and existing development patterns. Existing parking areas and improvements already occupy portions of the area that are now designated as buffers under the current ordinance. The development will not worsen those conditions. The proposal does not materially expand those existing encroachments, and in several respects improves the site throughout upgraded circulation, organization, landscaping, and overall appearance. And then with regards to why parking is required within certain buffer areas, again, to maintain parking in those areas would allow functional site design while preserving the existing commercial development pattern. The alternatives would either significantly impair site functionality or prevent reasonable redevelopment of the property. Turning to tab A4, which is the truck circulation. With regards to circulation, it's been evaluated. Again, a truck circulation plan has been submitted, and the plan that is before the board tonight demonstrates vehicle movements throughout the site. The plan confirms that a service and delivery vehicles can safely access, maneuver, and circulate within the development. The site also provides adequate access from Lincoln Highway. The zoning plan indicates that the required site distance is 700 feet and that more than 700 feet is provided at the proposed location. With regards to parking and drive aisle dimensions, whether they're code compliant, the zoning table shows 9 foot by 18 foot parking spaces and 25-foot drive aisles, which we are complying with as well. So the evidence and testimony that Mr. Alanikov will adopt will demonstrate that the requested relief is primarily, again, associated with longstanding existing nonconformities on this site. The project represents a substantial improvement over existing site conditions. It advances the productive redevelopment of a commercial property, supports the use specifically contemplated by the Highway Commercial District, improves circulation and aesthetics, and provides the minimum relief necessary to permit reasonable use of the property. With that being said, I'll call on Mr. Alanikov to adopt that testimony. If he can get sworn in.
Could you state your name and spell it, please?
John Alanikov, John. Last name is Alejnikov.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help you out.
I do.
John, can you just state your name and title for the record?
My name is John Alanikov. I am the branch manager of Bowler Engineering's Chalfont office.
And you have familiarity with the plans that we're talking about this evening?
I do.
And were you present in the room when I gave the presentation of the zoning hearing board?
Yes,
And is everything you heard me say accurate and true to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief?
it is.
And if I would have called on you to testify, would you have testified in a similar fashion?
Yes, I
And
will.
so you adopt that testimony as your own?
I do.
I have no further questions for Mr. Alanikov, and we'll turn him over to the board.
What was the prior use of this property? Do we know?
There were a number. I think the most recent thing on Google was golf cart sales. Looking back at historic aerials, there were cars parked all over the property, so at some point there might have been some vehicular use there.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, I noticed the property, majority of the property is in the 100-year floodplain, and the building is actually in the 100-foot margin.
Microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I noticed that the majority of the property is in the 100-year floodplain, and the building is actually in the 100-foot margin off the floodplain. What do you doing to rectify that?
So the 100-year floodplain is denoted by the lines on there. So the property where we're developing is outside of that 100-year floodplain. So in terms of any margin associated with it, there's no relief necessary for that. However, we are providing landscaping around the property, and we are preserving as much landscaping as necessary, as evidenced by the, not wanting to build the 81 parking spaces to preserve as much green space as possible.
Any other questions from the board?
How many people are you going to employ there?
So on the shift, what we are assuming right now is 10 people on a shift. If you have 6 bays, you figure 1 per bay. 10 is probably an overestimation for.
So that'll leave you 20-some for customers?
Yes, 24 for customers.
All right, thank you.
Any heavy-duty truck repair or anything like that at this property?
The nature of this business is primarily tire sales.
Okay.
So in terms of heavy-duty repair, it's really not their core business.
Okay. Anything else from the board? Anything from the township?
Nothing from the township.
Any public comment? You can come on up, man. Ken, just please state your name for the record.
Jennifer Metzger, Falls Township.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. I really only have a couple questions. So there's a couple of spots on here that say 0 foot between the proposed development and adjacent commercial property, no offsets, right up against the lot lines. So that's a problem everywhere else in the township. I mean, even when we're extending our driveways, we have to have a 2-foot buffer between us and the property owner next door. I don't understand how that would be feasible. And everywhere council is saying, okay, this is because there was a prior problem in that section of the property. Can he point out any of those where we're really just approving something that was already there?
I'm sorry, I didn't really understand your question.
Yeah, so right now, we're hearing that majority of these waivers are actually because they're already doing that on the property. So they're now just asking permission and saying, hey, it's already there. We already don't have any buffer on one side of the property. We already are directly on the street line. And I'm saying, no, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm seeing a 30-foot buffer. You're building out the building. You're coming directly up onto the property line. I think that causes a problem because if there's fencing, sidewalk, if there's a snowplow that comes by and nails their building, anything is going to be an actual problem because they're encroaching in the setback. That setback's there for a reason. So can they show us, where it is that, hey, we're already on the property line, we're not going to fix it, but it really is a benefit? How is it a benefit?
So it's a good question, and I had that question too.
Do you know where I'm coming from?
I see where you're coming from, but I'm also looking at the neighboring properties that are also right up to the border. And so you're asking a property owner that has an existing nonconformity to somehow be better when their neighbors are already also in the same boat and not being better. So I think, while I can agree with the nature of what you're asking, like, shouldn't we all just work to make our properties better and come into code? As the lawyers said, they could do that, but then they'd have to cover their parking and to cover the truck movement. They'd have to go take some of the impervious space. And now I think you'd be concerned about the impervious space that they're going to take too. So I would just say, personally, I think this is a solution that is a lesser of evils solution, given existing nonconformities and given, you've driven by this space too. Like it's a sea of asphalt, and they're all side by side, back to back to each other, all down the line. So to make one property owner all of a sudden enforce their buffers without all the others enforcing their buffers, that's, personally, I would say that's unfair.
But that's what Falls Township's been doing. As our code has been updated anything that you're doing to change your property, you have to come into line. I'm not saying require them to keep the full 30-foot buffer, but I do think that some buffer is reasonable so that you're not directly up on a line. Because with what I'm seeing here, the increase actually is removing a huge chunk of trees. So it really is going into a space that actually does already have canopy cover.
Folks,
Do you see that in the
can
back?
you confirm whether there's any trees going away or other impervious surface that's going, because that seems to be what
That's
you
primarily
just
what
said.
I'm asking. If you're making it better, can you just show us like where?
Sure, I'd be happy to show you where we're making it better. So I'll start by looking at the western property line. So if you're looking at the western property line,
And just to be clear, this is, what he's referencing is tab A3, just for record purposes.
apologies. So existing asphalt and parking goes right up to that property line today. So what we're doing is we are providing well in excess of the buffer requirement over there because we have the ability to meet that setback over here. In addition, as I look to the southern property line across the street, there is an existing 0-foot setback from the existing impervious surface there. We are providing 5+ feet of setback there. So again, to the extent of we're improving where we can with things. And I would also point out to your point, if you look at the extension of the property to the left of us, which is much newer than the property on the right-hand side, which is the eastern side, our parking is generally in line with what that looks like. Furthermore, when we reference 0-foot setbacks for things, I would point out in the northeast portion of the property adjacent to us actually encroaches onto our property, so we have to list that as a 0-foot setback. In reality, again, along that eastern property line, we have parking right up to there, but we're providing, and I'm trying to see here, I believe it's a 7-foot grass strip along that property line where we can, without removing parking spaces on that the neighboring properties are using, attempting to be a good neighbor in a situation there. So that's just some of the areas where I'm calling out. So we are, in fact, providing some more green space where we can.
I appreciate that, thank you. And can I just ask you, this is new extension for the new building? What is that for?
So just for everyone's understanding, what was pointed out is there is a tail of the property in the northwest section there that projects up as you're looking at the page. And you're asking if there's anything essentially going on back there. We're not touching that. So anything that you see there along the northwestern property, we aren't touching. That will remain as grass, native, whatever's back there will remain.
Is there currently something there right now? I mean, I'm looking at the Google Map aerial, which could be 5 years out of date, and it looks like there's a building back there.
There is an existing building back there, so the intent would be to remove that building and then allow that to be natural space.
Got it. Great.
So the earth disturbance is in the plans to say it is going to be natural space, or at some point they would have to come back if they're going to put something there to replace it?
Yeah, on the zoning plan we have, it doesn't show that area is being disturbed, but that would be part of the land development process for them to show that.
And then with the reduced spaces, do they have to have disability spaces or anything on that property?
Yes, they do show 2 on the plan as of now, but yes, they would by code need disability spaces.
Okay, so even though we're going to reduce it from 80 to 30 for them, we're still going to make sure that they have enough disability
Correct.
spots,
Yep.
just in case.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right. Nothing else from the board? All right, so with that being said, I would need a motion for or against this project.
Mr. Matei, real quick, can I just,
sorry, yeah.
it's all right, can I just have the exhibits A1 through A7 admitted into the record?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion for or against, yes.
All right, I move that the application of Holly Properties LLC requesting the following variances from the following sections of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to permit the construction of an approximately 7,020 square foot motor vehicle repair garage, as has already been read into the record by our esteemed chairman, so I will not repeat that. At the property located at 111 and 115 Lincoln Highway, Fairless Hills, PA 19030, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
Motion by Aaron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bill. Chris, can you call the board?
Bill,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
That being the last agenda item, I just need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Have a good night.